Hey, Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. Here we are. It's Sunday. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means? It's time for the witching hour. Here we are. Well, I'm here. Lord Tony, by the way, isn't with us tonight, but we got our other crew members here, Lady Angela and Lady Carol. Lady Angela, you want to say hi?
Hi, everybody. Sorry I missed last week. I did miss you all, and I'm so happy and excited for tonight's show. Let's see what happens.
And we got Lady Carol with us. Lady Carol.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight.
I love that red hat you're wearing, by the way.
Thank you. I'm
Lady,
putting a black one soon. So,
oh, real, I love it. And Lady Angela, that looks like a new hat you got on too.
It's my crooked hat. I like it.
Well, we're all three witches here. I got on my stars hat because you know I'm all into astrology these days. And you know, speaking of astrology, you know, I have been doing a little bit of work. I'm trying to get it done. My astrology book that's going to be coming out soon. So we'll keep y'all posted on that. But no, the second Bob's got his head up in the stars, try to keep his feet on
Right?
There we go. Well, you know what? I got to check our chat here. Hold on. I got to get my chat going so I can see what's going on here. I'm sure we got some people. Looks like we got some people tuning
Yeah,
in.
we do.
Here.
We got Katie McKenzie. We got Gaff. We got Melanie Miller, Lotus Night Rain, Susan C. Lady Witch. We got Mama Bird. We got Allison's here. Hi, everybody. We got a lot of new names. We got some regulars, and we got loads of Purple Core people in the chat.
I love it. I'm loving it. Well, you know, Heidi, all of you are here, are regular. I see a lot of regulars here. Melanie Miller's here. Allison's here. Yay, Allison Six Costello. Katie McKenzie's here. Steve Taylor's here. Gosh, we got a lot of people. Thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for being here and coming out tonight. I tell you, we're having such a good time. And, you know, we miss Lord Tony. Lord Tony's been real busy. You know, he's got a family. And, you know, when you're like, got family, you always got something to do. But that's all right. He'll be with us next week. But let's keep him in our thoughts tonight for blessing for his time away, that he'll have a good and productive time. Anyways, I'm glad you guys are here. You know, I got to tell y'all, you know, it's been an interesting few weeks here for me because have you ever been, you know, do you ever notice trends in the universe? Like, it seems like there's patterns and waves of energy, you know?
Absolutely.
It's funny, it's like right now I keep seeing a lot of people that are calling me that are kind of in a panic mode. You know, they're fearful. And you know, I gotta tell you, don't let fear rule your life, you know. Fear has its purpose to kind of kick us in the butt sometimes and motivate us. But I want y'all to know that I've been looking, you know, at the energy of the cosmos. And you know, this is a really great time for all of us to kind of confront our fear and to push through it, you know. You know, wonderful thing about Wicca, you know, we're all Wiccans here, or at least most of us are, all the members of the Order of the Purple Court. And, you know, I think one of the things that's so wonderful about Wicca is that Wicca says you have power over your life. You're not a victim. So, you know, I think that's a really important thing that we think about. Like, where do we feel disempowered? How can we be empowered? You know, this is why I think magic is wonderful. Don't you guys agree with me?
oh, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
You know?
You know, but Melanie Miller says there's actually going to be a major energy shift tonight. Very interesting.
Oh, very fascinating. Well, maybe she can tell. I haven't been following that, so I missed some of that. But I can just tell you as a psychic, I have been feeling some stuff coming. Hopefully, this is a good energy shift. And if it's a scary one, remember our power of consciousness allows us to change that. Let's make it a good energy shift.
Absolutely. Mama Bird says both Mercury and Mars are retrograde at this time. We were just chatting about that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, you know, that's one of the things I was just saying before we started the broadcast. I said, I got to get in to see what's going on with those planets because the night sky has very distinct patterns right now. And so for those of you who are, especially those of you who are brand new to Wicca, spend time every night going out under the stars and look at the moon and the stars and the planets. Because, you know, I believe that the great and ancient mother and the sky lord, the father, speak through those signs and symbols, don't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, when I get the opportunity, I'm outside during a hot heat sun days and, you know, the cool moon night. So, I mean, I'm watching everything. And where I live now, I can see clearly. It's you know, it's interesting because we don't have as many lights out here. So you really see the sky for what it is and learn to appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
You know, like I'm down at my mom's now, and I have this experience because where I live, as y'all know, up in the city, I don't really get to see the stars as clearly, you know. And now I'm down here every night. I've been going out and watching the sky and doing my libation offerings, and it's been a blessing to attune back to that whole kind of what you call cosmic energy, you know. By the way, yes, I forgot to say we're at the full moon. Melanie Miller said August full moon. That's right, the full moon. I was out last night looking at it, and I've seen it tonight. It's amazing. I'm just crazy about that. Have y'all been seeing the moon? How big and bright?
Oh yeah.
I've been feeling some full moon energy going on for sure this week. I'm quite thankful of this time's full moon's been good to me.
Wonderful. See, Mother Moon's energy always enlivened.
Right? I ain't complaining.
Well, you know, there's a ritual I was reading the other day in Scott Cunningham, and he says, like part of the ritual, it says, "I pray by the moon, I pray by the moon," and I love that phrase. So last night I was getting in bed, and the biggest moon was coming through my window, and it was like directly in line with my bedroom window. So
Oh,
in all, like the house is totally dark, and I sat with the moonlight streaming in my window. Oh, it was so
oh,
wonderful. And I said, I pray by the moon, I pray by the moon. You know, it was wonderful.
I think those are healing moments for us.
Oh, I think so too. And I really feel like the goddess was saying, hey, I'm with you, you know.
yeah, that's what I feel when that happens.
What's that, Lady Angela?
I said, that's what I feel when that happens too. Like, even if I'm at work, sometimes I'm at a closing shift, you know, and you go outside to do certain duties when it's dark and night and the whole town's already rolled up and closed down. And you walk out and boom, there's the moon just right there. And I just take it as a blessing that she's saying, here I am, here's my love for you. And I find it very empowering, like it just charges me, you know, to draw down that energy from the moon. It's just a wonderful, empowering. And it could be a healing, it could be a transmutation type energy. But for me, I feel charged by it and blessed.
I agree. Follower of the old ways, she said that she felt that there was an undercurrent of autumn energy in the air today. I have to agree with that.
I agree.
And I'm like, you know, we can just sense that. And I think, you know, as we really get to Maybon, it's going to be a lot clearer for us. You know?
Yep, I agree. Lotus Night Rain has a question for us. She says that she's having money issues. Any spell or suggestions that'll help her to find a second job?
Oh, yes. Well, you know, right now, while that moon is still full, I would take there's an old witch tradition where you take like silver coin outside. It can be a quarter or a silver dollar or whatever, but it should be a silver color coin. And you lay it under your hands under the moon, and it's called turning the money. So you say, I turn the money and I turn the tide of prosperity. And you move the coin back and forth between your hands, and then you hold it under the light and ask the moon mother to bless you in prosperity and finance. And when you do that, that opens up that energy current for money. Have you heard of that spell?
No, I hadn't heard of that one. I'd suggest a vision board. You know, it's been very effective for me over the years, very effective. And it's basically you take a piece of paper and you could either write things, draw things, print out pictures of things, cut it out of a magazine. But what it is things you want to manifest. And you got to think about what it is you want to manifest. What kind of job would it be? You know, would it be a part-time job, a nighttime job? Would it be something you enjoy or just something you do or just different things? Be specific, but also don't pin it down that it has to be at this specific location, you know. But make a vision board and hang it in a place where you will see it frequently. And every time you glance upon it, you're giving energy for those things to manifest. That's been very powerful and effective for me for manifesting new like revenues for income or new avenues.
I got to jump in here. Follower of the old ways, Sage the Green. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you woman. There's another person on my YouTube channel has a similar name who is a woman. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to confuse you with them. I apologize. Followers of the old ways is a guy, and I could clearly see his picture now that I have my glasses on.
Nailed it, Bob.
Some days thinking Bob has a little trouble. I'm half blind when it comes to seeing these texts at all. So
Maud Matilde says they love staring at the full moon. They just can't take their eyes off it. I agree. You know, whenever and I talk to the moon. When I see the moon, I'll stand there and face her and thank her for blessings for myself, blessings for those that I love and know, for always being present. And I talk to the moon, just like, I mean, it's your mother, you know, it's the goddess energy. It's part of you and a part of everything around you. And so it's a personable connection, and just talk to the moon. But always be thankful of your blessings, even though you might feel like you're in a rut and stuff, but you know what? You're waking up every day and getting another chance to improve it. Even that's a blessing. You know, so don't overlook the small stuff and always be thankful. And once you are, more comes to you.
Lady Ange, I'm going to get something to follow on that, but y'all keep talking. I'll be right back.
Okay.
A lot of times, you know, I'll go outside, especially at night and when the sun goes down. I literally sit there and watch the sun go down.
Oh, I love it.
You know, I'll sit outside and, you know, water my garden because I have a little garden in the front. And, you know, I will just talk to the moon, just release everything. If I have a stress-filled day, if I'm emotional, if I need help with something, I just open up. Like, you know, if I'm having a regular conversation, you don't have to have a ritual every time, you know.
Right.
So, you know, it's one of those, you know, kind of like, you know, Mom, I got this problem, come help me.
Yes.
You know, I will do that, and I sleep better at night.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, Karen, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
You know, I think we're all so excited because all of us here, we're moon worshipers.
Oh, yeah.
We are goddess freaks.
Yeah.
Let me show you. This is a tradition that I have when I travel. Well, I also do it at home. But if you're ever traveling and you feel like you want to connect to the moon mother, but let's say you're someplace where you can't see the moon because, you know, you're in a city where there are buildings blocking it or whatever. One of my secret little traditions is I carry a little magical witch mirror. Now, see this little lady as they're flying in front of the moon. And this is actually a little compact. And I can put it in my bag or in my suitcase. And what I do is wherever I go, even at hotels, I set up a little altar. And you can open this up and set out a beautiful silver mirror. And that can be your lunar connection. This is kind of like the image of the moon mother. Like the mirror is an ancient silver mirror, is a tradition of the moon mother. And you can use this just to pray to the moon. Like, to me, it's like a miniature moon on my altar. Or I may like use it for scrying. But I would encourage you to explore getting a little, it's called compact mirror. You women probably know what that is.
Oh, yeah.
Guys don't know, but compact mirror is a little folding mirror. It has a case, they clip close, and they can have any design on the front, but you can actually find them now. If you look up witch compact mirrors, you can buy them with images of witches on them. See that lady flying on the broom?
Yep, I have one just like it and love it.
So there you go. So that's another way you can bring that moon mother energy into your life, you know.
Katie McKenzie asked a question I think you would be great at answering. She asked, I'm going to be moving soon and I was wondering if Hestia would be a good goddess to work with for stability with that.
Oh, absolutely. Excuse me. Hestia is the Greek goddess of the hearth. Her Roman name is called Vesta. You can call her either. I honor her as Vesta, but Hestia is the same. But she is really, you should call her in when you move to a new home as your first invited person, because she claims the home as her realm of her territory, basically. And you can never give to the goddess anything that you will lose, because you say to the goddess, I give you my home. And let me tell you, she'll be present and she'll bless you. And I would encourage you, if you can, try to find a place that is your hearth. Now, traditionally in the old days, that was around the fireplace, or it might be in the kitchen around the cauldron. But if you don't have a fireplace, find a place in your home that is your cozy place, your little place where you curl up at the end of the day. That's your hearth spot. And I would encourage you try to get a picture or a statue of Hestia or Vesta and put it in that area, and that'll be your shrine to her, and she'll be there for you.
Bob, Maud Matilde asked something, and I know you're going to squeal when you hear this question.
Yeah.
Maud asks, are you guys familiar with Saint Germain?
Oh, yes, Saint Germain.
Bob loves Saint Germain.
He's an ascended master, and he is the Lord of the seventh ray, the violet ray. And so you can call on Saint Germain to bring in the power of the violet ray, which increases magical power. It brings transmutation of energy, and it's very powerful and healing and purifying. Yes, Saint Germain. Now, his name, just to give you some history, was the Count of Saint Germain. He was a French nobleman, and he lived for hundreds of years. He never really died. Most people say that he never actually physically died. He just transmuted into the spirit world. And Carol, what do you got, Carol? Show us that. Let me see.
It's actually one of the tarot cards with the picture of Saint Germain on it.
And there he is in his purple robes. So you got to talk, Carol.
It's a little glare on there, so I don't know if you can see it clearly, but I actually pulled this card 3 days ago.
And look, it says, work your magic. And didn't I just say he's the Lord of the magical transmutation?
Yep.
Yeah, powerful. If you want to connect to Saint Germain, it's wonderful. Get a picture of him like Carol has. Or you can also, he works through the amethyst stone. So if you carry amethyst, that will attune you to Saint Germain. Good question.
And actually, Bob has several videos on his channel that he's done about Saint Germain. There's several videos because he does love Saint Germain, and he's had full-on classes about Saint Germain. So definitely check his queue. Now, Gab Hines asked something that's up my alley here. He asked, does anyone ever work with the goddess Lakshmi? She helps with prosperity and abundance. Gab, I'm very close to Lakshmi and Ganesh because they're like a team. You know, they're like best friends. And I tell you, the gods come to you and present themselves to you and want to work with you. And in my earlier witchy days of learning and growing and progressing, I was very connected with Hecate, which I still am. And then later I found other goddesses that I was connected with too. And Lakshmi, it took me a while to connect with her, but once I did, stuff just started popping in my life. I made a big move. I got the good job that I'm happy with. Just stuff started popping off in a good way in my life. And that told me, wow, you know, this one here is making stuff manifest for me. And it was such a blessing to finally find her and to have her in my heart. I have different things in my home, altars set up to her, to Ganesh. You all see my Ganesh back there. Ganesha takes away barriers, just knocks down the walls, and Lakshmi brings in the blessings and prosperity. And I think in ways that Lakshmi and Aphrodite are very similar. You know, they both rose from the water on the lotus flower. You know, they have a lot of different similarities. Perhaps it's the same goddess, just with different names depending on different places. I don't know. But Lakshmi, yes, I love Lakshmi.
I do too. And, you know, Lady Angela, you have some beautiful pictures of her.
Yes, I do. In my bedroom, I have quite a few just beautiful pictures of Lakshmi. I really love Lakshmi. She's just wonderful. And Ganesh as well, and Hecate. Followers of the Old Ways Sage Green mentions Persephone. That's another one of my favorite goddesses, of one of my maiden goddesses. And she has similarities to Hecate as well, you know, for being passing between the worlds, going through the gates and having keys.
Yeah. Followers of the Old Ways, Sage the Green just said, Bob, will you do any videos on Mabon and Samhain this year? Yes, we are. In fact, we were just talking. We are going to be working on a ritual for Mabon soon. And we're going to do, as a group, a live ritual that you can be part of. And I believe we'll do a Samhain one as well. But in addition to that, I'll also do my regular teaching videos where we're going to talk about the Wheel of the Year. And well, you know, I help you guys with that as well. So we're going to have a lot here in the coming months on the Sabbats, because I just love the autumn Sabbats. I really get into them, you know.
And, you know, I'm really looking forward to whatever it is that we do for Samhain. I know we got it set up now where we can do some really cool group ritual stuff. And I know our Samhain ritual is going to be epic. I'm really excited. We have it put our heads together to come up with it, but it's going to be good. And we've tossed around ideas, and we're all excited about it. And it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, right now I'm trying to find all my altar stuff because that's the biggest time of the year for me.
Oh, yes.
And, you know, it's like, where is it? I got to find it because, you know, it's like I use certain things and, you know, I set up my ancestor altar. A lot of people don't even know what that is.
Right.
But I set up my ancestral altar as well as have my regular altar. And I've got stuff in boxes and stuff. And it's like, oh, I got, you know, fragile things in there. So I'm like, I hope it's not out in my storage because I've got, you know, glass.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, I got to get all that prepared in the process of finding everything else.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm kind of in a
don't worry, it'll all fall in place.
Moment right now. It's like I'm trying to jump, you know, almost 2 months ahead to figure out what I'm going to do. But at the same time, it's like I hope this didn't get broke. You know.
Right.
So,
you mentioned ancestor altar. Some people may not know what that is, and that's one of my favorite parts about Halloween and Samhain. Is it's a time when the veil between the worlds is very thin, so you're going to have that much more power and success in reaching out to the other side. And a lot of times, what people will do, even without being witchy or Wiccan, is they'll set up kind of like the Day of the Dead honoring. It's very much like the Day of the Dead honoring, where you could set up pictures of your loved ones that have crossed over, or different things. Like my granny, I love her to death. She's still with us, you know, but she, with jewels or special crystal beads and all, when she sees them and looks at them, she wiggles her toes and she's just all about them. And I told her, Granny, when you pass, because she's witchy, but she don't know she's witchy. She's she's in the brew closet. But I told her, Granny, when you pass on Halloween, on Samhain, I'm going to lay out my jewelry boxes with all my sparklies and all my special rocks. And you come and visit me on that day, and you can come and play with them in spirit form. And she wiggled her toes and she said, you bet I'll be there, you know. And that's kind of an example of what an ancestor altar is. You put out things that your ancestors that have crossed over liked and loved. And it's a time when their spirit will come and visit you.
Yeah, and you can also make, like, similar to the Day of the Dead, where you can actually add food into it as well. A lot of people don't realize that, you know, just because the person is crossed over, you know, they don't remember these things. You know, and in actuality, they're around us all day, and they do. And, you know, a lot of people look at it as, well, why are you putting food out? You know, they're not even here. That's the point. It's the point of remembering everything about them.
Right. Well, it's like I have someone close to me that, should he pass, he suffers with alcoholism really heavily. And should he pass, what I will do is I'll leave a shot glass of the booze that he really likes on my ancestor altar. And you better believe he'll be coming to visit me, because he's going to want to hang around there. God knows who I'm talking about, but yeah.
Well, you know, the spirits can't
bring them back into your home.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you know, the spirits, like people say, well, I didn't see them eat the food. But it's not, they don't physically eat the food, but they absorb the vibration. Everything's energetic over there. So they can absorb that energy of that alcohol, that energy of that food. And that really gets them energized and helps bring them peace. You know.
Yeah.
You know, can I just jump in here on the subject of ancestor altar also? I went through it. It's very traditional, like down in Louisiana, to set an ancestor altar, and it can be very simple. Like, just to start one, if you don't know how to do it, I would say find a little side table, and it should be dedicated solely to that, and put a white cloth on it, and then you put a white candle and then a glass of water. That's usually the traditional offering. Now you can add more to that, you know, such as flowers and food and pictures. But that's the bare minimum that you really need to start an ancestor altar. And then you invite them to meet with you there. And you said, this is our special meeting place.
Now, if you are fortunate enough to have something that belonged to one of your ancestors, like, your grandfather's watch, or your mother's favorite necklace, or grandma's, little things. You can do that as well. Now, what I like to do with my ancestor altar, I also have an additional pet altar for all of my lost pets, because, well, ever since I was a kid, I've always had dogs and cats. And speaking of that, I have a new one. This is,
Aww.
I just got her about 2 hours ago.
Aww.
Brand new, literally.
Baby.
4 months old. And she's, I believe, with the Dotson Chihuahua mix.
Aww.
And she gets along with everybody.
Aww. She loves you.
Yeah. So
She's gonna sleep with you, huh?
new to the family. So I'm introducing Miss Precious to the family.
Aww.
So her, you'll know what's going on. But I also make an altar for them.
Aww.
Because they are part of our family.
Some people, they have a big meal, for Halloween or Samhain. They have a big meal, and it's to honor the ancestors, and they will actually set a place at the table that's for the mom that's passed, or for whoever, and it's to invite those spirits to come in and join. You don't see these people manifest, but you feel their presence there. You know that they're there, and you feel their love and appreciation for whatever it is you've brought to them or called out to them with.
Well, wait a second, Lady Angela, because in Psychic Bob's house, I actually see them.
That's true. That's true. That's true. T. Rose Lover asked a question similar to that, Bob. They ask, they say, Bob, I've heard that spirits don't see us in human form, that they just see our energy. Is that true?
It depends, actually. It depends on the evolution of the spirit. Most of the spirits that are, like, for example, earthbound, if you have like a ghost around your house, they're going to just, well, it's just, again, there's not one standard answer, because depending on their level of awakenedness, if they're like very alert and they had a pretty smooth death and they're kind of pretty in touch, they're going to see you just as like you are. And they'll even try to talk to you, but you may not hear them. But if there's somebody who's like, that died in like an alcoholic stupor or a drug-induced state, they may still be in that delusion of cloud and not see you clearly. It may just perceive you as energy passing. So the clarity of their consciousness affects what they see.
In our chat, that was a good. In our chat, there's some chitter because Christine C was saying about she leaves whiskey out for the fairies. And we got Gab, Mama Bird, Melanie, a whole bunch of them jumping on board because they're all picturing the fairies laid out drunk.
I hear they like to party. I can,
right? Oh, that's funny.
That is cute.
I haven't done that yet, but I have to try it.
Yeah.
That also. Make it a good Irish whiskey.
Yep. Joey Gothic asks if there's any advice on how to see spirits.
Good question. One of the things is, especially if you're starting out and you're trying to develop clairvoyance, I honestly recommend you use the black mirror. I don't have my black mirror here, but the black mirror is a scrying device. It's almost like looking through a doorway or a window in the spirit world. And I find that for many people who are starting out with trying to connect, this is a powerful tool, So I would encourage you to do that. You could also use the Ouija board because now I know a lot of people say, oh, Ouija's evil. No, it's not. It's just a device. It depends on your intent. If you're serious about having a real conversation, Ouija board's an option. Or, in fact, one of the things I'm going to be demonstrating on my channel in the next few weeks is doing what's called electronic voice phenomena. And this is where you get a recorder and you usually dim the lights so you have a little more serene environment, and you just start talking to the spirits and you record it. Now, you won't maybe hear them right at first, but when you play the tape back or the recorder back, it'll a lot of times have voices on it and they'll answer your questions. So these are various ways that can open that doorway of communication.
Also, pendulums, Bob. I really enjoy using pendulums. I use a separate pendulum for each spirit that I do communicate with. And I have actually a really good tutorial video on my channel here on YouTube about pendulums, how to use them, different methods, techniques, and showing you how to use them. I find that it's very easy, and a lot of people that have no experience with psychism or speaking with spirits and stuff like that have good results using pendulums.
I think that's a wonderful advice, lady. Yes, I have wholeheartedly 100% agree with you. Really good. Thank you. Lady Carol, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I actually have a and this one is actually the glow in the dark version, which is actually really cool. And I also have a mirror, which I made during Lord Tony's instruction on how to make a black mirror.
Oh, very nice.
Perfect.
So, I'm planning on, using these for Samhain. As part of my communication with my family members and, anybody that wants to drop in and say hello.
Candle scrying too, that's one of my most powerful meditative practices that I do is I turn out all the lights and light a candle and burn some incense, and the mingling of the light of the candle and the smoke, and I just let my mind go and relax. And that's another good way that you can communicate with spirits. You can see spirits, they can give you messages. You can even see them, so I've had very effective results with that as well, and I've done that for years.
Oh, lady, can I jump in on that? Because one of the things, and you really raised a good point, you can sometimes ask spirits to manifest in the smoke of the incense. Like you might see a face come out of it or a form, or it might do a pattern like to communicate with you. Say, spin your smoke to the circle to the right and then spin it to the left or go to the side. And they can use that and manipulate it.
Well, I sense them in the fog. When you're concentrating on the candle or the smoke and you just relax and let yourself go, and the edges of what you see kind of become misty, they become fog. And you just go with that. And then you can see things in the corner of your eye or whatever, and you can actually see them kind of in that fog of your view once you let your mind hit that zone.
Mm-hmm. California Dreamer just said, I'm worried a Ouija board might bring bad spirits or shadow beings. I used some dowsing rods one night and my dog freaked out. California Dreamer, I have to be honest with you. I think a lot of the hype around the Ouija board is literally from Hollywood. Now, there are cases where I've worked on where people have brought in bad spirits. But again, the Ouija board is not, it's simply a device. Like, for example, is your cell phone bad? Okay, hold on, let me find my cell phone. What is this? This is a device. I can call on my cell phone and say, Lady Angela, let's go shopping today. And we could have a wonderful time, and cell phone can connect us. Or I can pick this up and call into a local shopping center and say, there's going to be a bomb go off in 5 minutes, and terrorize everybody. Now, if I did that, that's me being evil. The device itself is not evil. So your intent and your vibration determines how that Ouija board works for you.
Right. And, you and Carol like Ouija. I'm not a fan of Ouija boards. I used them in high school. I had a bad experience and I've never touched them again. They're not for some people.
Yeah.
I'm one that they're not for me. And if it gives you the creeps and you just get the heebie-jeebies or a bad feeling about Ouija, don't use it. Do another method, use something else. I think it's kind of like a Ouija board is like the cell phone, but it's on the loudspeaker. It calls out a big range of spirits or entities, to come. And I'm not a fan of Ouija boards, and that's okay. You don't have to like every device, and it's not to contradict them. It works great for Bob. He's got a wonderful book on Ouija mysteries. I read it. It's wonderful. It tells of his experiences. In some ways, he's helped spirits that were in purgatory to rise up and cross into the light. He's done wonderful things with Ouija boards. I'm not a fan of them. I don't use them myself. If you gave me one, I'd give it away to someone else. I'm not a fan of them. But for some people, they're good. So don't feel bad if it's just not a good tool for you. That's okay also.
Another thing that you can use is a crystal ball.
Yep.
You know, there's many techniques out there. You know, you can actually just sit in a quiet room without anything, just yourself. You yourself can be a conduit. You know, if you're in a room where there's just very little light, maybe, you know, moonlight coming in, all you have to do is just sit there quietly and, you know, ask spirit to show themselves to you. And it can happen that way.
Yep.
So
Your dreamer says thank you for all the help with that question.
Bob, there's a lot of chitter in the chat. Chitter in the chat.
Chatter in the chat. Chat.
Yeah, there's some chitter in the chat.
People are
About
chat me up, pretty girl. Chat me up.
Right. Hey, they're asking about, should they do protective wards before they do those, use Ouija board or different divination or spirit communication tools? And if so, what are some recommended ways? How do you set up, like before you do readings and stuff, Bob, how do you set up that protective barrier?
Well, I always do that light meditation that I like to do, bring the light through me, and then I call in my guides and angels. That raises the vibration. I visualize a sphere of white light surrounding me. I always say whatever method you use, you could use prayer, you can use meditation. Make sure you're in your place of happiness and contentedness before you do that, and you will be at a vibration which is high. And in the spiritualist movement, we always say like attracts like. So if you go into your divination practice with a high mindset, the best communications, not being glorified, you're going to draw high-minded beings to you.
Yeah. A lot of times, you know, I've heard recommendations of you would place salt water on your table, you know.
Yeah. Or light a candle, a white candle, or incense.
Or even crystals, you know, raise your vibration. There's a lot of ways you can do things, but definitely call on your guardians, you know, at any point. I mean, when you open ritual, you call on your guardians. It's basically the same thing. You want them present at anything you do, you know.
Yep. Now, a lot of people don't necessarily know how to call in their guardian or the name of their guardian or who their guardian is. Something I do a lot of times is I'll simply say, I call forth all my guardians, angels, and guides to be present, to protect me, to love me, to guide me, and to empower me. So mote it be, you know. So it could be as simple as that. You don't have to name them by name. I call in my guardians, angels, and guides to be with me and protect me. Something as simple as that, and maybe lighting a candle. That's how I do whenever I do my tarot cards and stuff. That's as simple as what I say.
Yeah, unfortunately, you have Rose and Fletcher and, you know, guardians by distinct names. So, I mean, you can call out to the universe and they'll you.
Agreed.
Absolutely. There was a guy, I forget your name, sorry, it went by, it was a druid, Christian druid, I believe. Christian druid said that they have on their body tattooed protection sigils, so that way they're always being in a state of protection. I think that's a really cool idea.
Gab does that too. Yep.
You know, I want to give a shout out here. I saw Krista Roman here tonight, and also Claire Wallace.
Excuse me.
I want to give shout outs to you, and I got to give a personal acknowledgement to my buddy Gavin Hines, because Gavin stays up. It's like 1 a.m. in the morning in London, and he stays up every week. So Gavin, thank you.
We love seeing you here. Him, Mama Bird. There's so many regulars, you know. It really lifts our hearts and it keeps us going, you know, to see all the regulars here and also the new names as well. The Order of the Purple Cord is growing all the time, and our followers here on Spirit Channel are growing all the time. And it's about all of you just as much as it is about us. You know, it's about all of you too. That's what makes Spirit Channels awesome.
Well, thank you. You know, when I created Spiritual, I wanted to make a place where people could come and discuss these issues. Because, you know, in the general world at large, you tell people I got a haunting in my house, they're like, cuckoo, you know. And the truth is, you're not cuckoo. But you are in a place that's a unique circumstance. And that's what Spirit Channel exists. And then I went on and formed the Order of the Purple Cord, because I used to get so many letters from Wiccans telling me, I'm all alone. I wish I had somebody to connect to and talk about Wiccan stuff. That's why we formed the Order of the Purple Cord. And if you want to learn more about the order, you can definitely pop over to my website at robert-ickman.com. I have an article. You can read about that. You can also pop over to our Facebook page, which is just type in, what is it, Order of the Purple Cord.
Yep.
Okay. And if you want to join the order, it is free. There's no charge. And, you know, once you submit, you have to submit a letter to us requesting membership. You have to agree to abide by the Wiccan Read. You also have to make a purple cord. And if you follow those, meet those requirements, you can join the order. And, you know, we'll have a certificate sent out to you, which you can print out and frame. Lady Kira, I think you've got one of our certificates on
in a beautiful frame, I see.
Can you show that to everybody? Can you take that down, or is that stuck up there?
No, it's got a lot of glare though.
It's all right.
It's
Just
beautiful.
tilt it back a little. That'll take the glare off of it.
Oh, I've got another lamp going. That's why.
Okay. But
And
that's what our certificate looks like.
Yeah, this is it. It's a little dark, but
Yeah. And we send it to you online. I email it to you, and you're able to print it out. You could print it out for yourself, maybe one in your book of shadows, one to hang on the wall. You know, you print it out and you're able to write on it your name or your magical name and then the date that you joined. And it just, mine hangs in my bedroom in there with my what I call my crown jewels hanging on the wall and stuff. It hangs in my special spot. So I love it.
Yeah, well, we encourage people, you know, don't feel like, you know, you have to be all alone as a Wiccan. Most of us are actually solitary, but this is kind of like your coven, you know. It's like you get the joy of being a solitaire without all the big rules and people on your case. And yet when it's a special event, you have a place to come. And so we're really working on making our rituals more regular so you can have that group experience as well.
yeah, for me, when I first joined the order, I was kind of hesitant because I didn't know what to expect. And I mean, the first couple of weeks, it was like, oh, do you need any help? You know, do you want to offer any help? I was like, oh, I got a lot of information. You know, what do I do with it? You know,
Right.
you sit and you share and you learn within, you know, a very short period of time that everybody thinks like you do. Nobody's criticizing. You're not being judged. You're not being ridiculed. You know, and everybody, you know, of like mind, they share the similar experiences that you have. I mean, it opened my world because I was solitary for so long and I had nowhere to go. I tried other groups and, oh, you don't post enough. Oh, you don't do this enough. You don't do that enough.
Yep.
I'm like, I have a life.
Right.
But the Order of the Purple Cord, it's like there's no pressure. You do what you want to do, as long as you respect one another, and you remember, you know, we're all people.
Yep.
And you know, I've been with the Order now, I think 2 years going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, it's been a blessing to me. It kept my sanity a lot of times.
Yep.
I'm so thankful because that's why I created this order, why I wanted to have that place of refuge, you know, especially when you're a Wiccan, you know, and some of those of you, especially who are brand new on the path, you may not fully understand this yet, but, you know, how do I say this? The energy that you enter into when you are a Wiccan, and you decide, like a lot of us thought, oh, I'm going to go tell everybody in my neighborhood I'm Wicca, I'm going to be open. And then when you get that, sometimes that backlash that comes, not always, but in some communities, you suddenly think, oh my God, why are people being hateful to me? You feel suddenly alone. The Order of the Purple Cord is that place you can come and say, you know what? I need Wiccan friends. My community that I thought would be happy about me don't support me. And Lady Angela, you know, we both had this where we'll walk down the street and I openly wear my witch jewelry. Like I got on my little pin. This is the pinnacle Lady Angela gave me.
Yep.
And I'll wear my witch jewelry openly. And sometimes in a very devout Christian community. I'm not picking on Christians, but it does seem to happen with them. They'll come up and start harassing me, tell me I'm of the devil, I'm a burn in hell, I hate God. And, you know, that's hard. And until you get a thick skin, it can really mess with you. So we want people to know that the Order of the Purple Core is a safe place where you can come, you can feel secure here, that you can be your witchy self, and nobody's going to be against you here.
Absolutely. Followers of the old ways, Sage the Green says, how we were talking about Halloween and the ancestors, says, watch Coco from Disney's Coco. It really does explain about honoring the ancestors. You'd love it. I've seen that movie. It's an animated movie, and it's really, really good about ancestors and what Halloween and the Day of the Dead all represent. It's a really good movie. The Book of Life is another wonderful animated movie about the other side, you know, in the spirit world, and how important it is that we do show honor and reverence to those that have crossed over. So that was very good point.
I think that's wonderful. You know, I can't help but think about the Lion King, you know, the cycle of life, you know.
Yep.
That's wonderful too. I love that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Lotus Night Rain says, I wear my pentacle daily. And Gavin Hines wrote, I do too, do this way, Bob. And I don't care what others think.
Yep.
I wear mine on my hand, right next to my wedding ring. And it does not leave.
And, you know, this is the thing. For not everybody, and this is, you know, a whole pride discussion itself, but, you know, there's always this question, should I be in the broom closet? Should I be open? I think we're at a time when more and more people are able to be open than ever before. However, there are still many people in communities where if they came out as a practicing Wiccan, would literally be chased out of town. I saw a video on YouTube a few months ago about a lady who moved in a little town and she set up a Wiccan store. And it was a really cool shop. And the local churches protested her shop and they took bricks and smashed out her windows.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's not acceptable. And so this is the way I look at it. If you're not ready to be out of the closet, don't worry about that. You just be you. Because there are people like Lady Angela, Lady Carol, myself, Lord Tony. We're living the open Wiccan life, and we don't mind taking the heat for the Wiccan community. That's what we do, because we're kind of trailblazers. We want to break through that barrier and say, no, we're not going away. You can't harass us. You can't intimidate me and put us out. So if you're not ready for that, don't let anybody push you. Because I knew, I hate to say, a spiritual teacher, a Wiccan teacher one time. He said, well, anybody who's not out of the closet, we'll make them be out of the closet. It's time for that. And I said,
that's not right.
I don't agree with that.
You can't force somebody to do something.
No, that's not our way.
Mm-mm.
And that was a real sad situation.
Mm-hmm. T. Rose Lover has a great question for the three of us. They ask, what kind of spells are you doing for the full moon tonight? Something I do in every full moon. I have a crystal I wear daily. You guys have seen me wear this every day. And I always charge it in the full moon. I'll hang it outside on my step where off the handrail so that it's in the full moon's light. I did it yesterday. I'm going to do it tonight, and I'll do it tomorrow night. I do it for several days. As the full moon is fully there or coming or just going, I leave it there to charge. And the purpose of this crystal is to empower me to be the best me that I can be in every way, you know, and so I charge it up that way. Also, I have some things to thank the moon for, you know, and so I'll be talking to her tonight. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
And then, I'm going to go out and charge my jewelry tonight. And, you know, I'm going to do my ritual libation that I always do every night. And for those of you who haven't followed my channel or don't know, I am in the Order of the Purple Core. I'm the keeper of the sacred chalice. We each have different jobs. And what I do is I take an offering out of water or wine, and I offer it under the moonlight, and then I pour it into the earth and do prayers, and I offer up all this for the order and for its work and protection of its members. So I'm going to do that tonight.
Well, what I'm actually doing, it's kind of hard to see, is I'm working on my blessed water.
Oh.
And this is rainwater that I've collected. And this was from our last big rainstorm mixed with some that I had prior. And it actually is sitting in the sun right now, and it'll be sitting under the moon. So I will be doing, you know, my little spell that I created, and that's what I'm going to be doing for the full moon, as well as having a conversation with Mother Moon to, you know, help me with some of my little issues that I have going on in my life. But yeah, I mean, we all have our little things, and I like to do the water.
I think wonderful. I think that's great. You know, I just had to jump in here. Gavin Hines said that there was a shop near him. It was a Wiccan shop. And he said people came in and burned it to the ground. I think that's terrible. That type of intolerance we have to stand against. Gavin, I'm sorry that happened to your local shop. But, you know, maybe it's time maybe you'll have a shop, you know. I think wherever one thing happens, another thing springs up. See, because the truth of the Wicca is a life affirming religion. We're not death dealing, we're life affirming. And so Hollywood, of course, wouldn't have you know that. But I think it's wonderful for all the people that are in a position where they can put themselves up publicly. And I encourage you, if you're one of those people, you know, you're helping a lot of people. You know.
Jenna's asking a wonderful question, Bob. It'd be easier if we just answered in our video than we type in it. They were asking, is there a preference between charging or clearing your stones between the moon or the sun? Is there a preference? You had talked about this a couple weeks ago, but
yeah,
you did a great job.
Stones, you know, you need to know the energy of the stone you're working. Right. Like, for example, there's a wonderful stone. It's actually a man-made stone, but I find it really helpful. It's called goldstone. Do you know about that? And goldstone has gold, literally flakes of gold in it, but it's a natural made stone, but it's beautiful. That is a sun, sometimes it's called sunstone as well. That is a stone that you have to charge in the sun. It's just the whole creation process attunes to solar energy. Some stones are distinctly moonstones, like this. Literally, the stone called moonstone is a goddess stone, and it resonates to lunar energy. Now, if you charge your moonstone in the sun, what's going to happen? Is that going to destroy it? Probably not, but it's not going to feel as charged, probably. So you want to know what the the frequency, the vibrational, the elemental energy of that stone is to get the maximum effect in its charge.
Absolutely. Christine C says something really, really wonderful. She says, I'm so sorry to hear about the treatment of Wiccans. I am actually Christian, but my church is Eastern Orthodox with a lot of rituals that are so similar to Wicca. I feel that I am at home here. That's so true. Like I sometimes joke that Catholics, you know, are pagans in denial because they worship the goddess, you know, the mother goddess, and they have all the saints, and they have these very ritualized practices that they do, you know, so similar, you know, the boundary is kind of gray.
You know, that's funny, Christy. I have to tell you, you know, I'll never forget after I started practicing Wicca, a friend invited me to go to a special Catholic mass. I think it was a baptism or something, but I was there. And when I walked in, I thought, oh, I feel so at home. The priest is wearing a white robe with the green cord, and the altar servers were all in white robes with their little cords, and the altar cloths were done in green, and it was like springtime. And I just thought, they're really in tune. They don't know it, but they're
right.
And I had a great time at that church.
I bet you did.
I had a fun time. And I was like, you know, afterwards, I thought I'd gone to the priest and telling him what I thought. I thought, oh, you know, I don't think he'd get it. So I just said I had a great time. He didn't know why I had a great time, but I had a great time. And I actually lit candles in the church and offered up prayers to the saints. That was powerful.
I feel like I say so. Nicolina Renak keeps repeating a question. I'm sorry, but this show, we focus more on like the larger group and witchy type questions rather than personal questions. We kind of save those for Bob's messages from the spirit world videos on Tuesdays.
Yeah, on Tuesday, Nicola, I'm going to do a video called Messages from the Spirit World. So if you send me that question, put it in either last week's messages video or email it to me. My email link will be below. I'll add that in for this Tuesday for you, okay? Thank you so much. I don't mean to be Rue, but we kind of have a different focus tonight.
Allison Six Costello says they feel like some stones don't need any outside help at all in terms of charging or clearing. Sure, that's very true. Some stones, maybe some people have never charged a stone. They just naturally feel the energy and it's good, and maybe I'd still give it a try though, because what's good could always be even better, but you don't have to always charge stones. It's each person's practice is their own. If it don't feel like it needs it to you, then maybe it don't, for you.
Well, here is a stone that I feel is really true with that. And for me, whenever I work with moldavite, it just to me feels like it's so powerful. It's like I don't even need to do anything to it. So I totally get that.
Jenna else was speaking to a person, Allison, and says, do you have any experience with selenite? My personal favorite, but I wasn't sure if I should charge it since I know it doesn't need much clearing. Selenite's a wonderful stone, very powerful for channeling, and it also charges you and charges things it's near. So it's a natural energy generator, but it still doesn't hurt it to sit it. Selenite, it's wonderful to sit in the sunlight, just in your windowsill, for a day, and it'll really charge it up even more. It's just full of high vibration. Or in the moon as well, it's so white and clear and just lovely. I love selenite, and I charge it in the moon as well. I have one that's a palm stone I hold in my hand when I do tarot, and selenite is like moon energy, so I like to charge it there too.
Absolutely. I think that's one of those stones that can be both. And that's the thing, again, if you read a Wiccan book and it says, this stone is only a fire stone. Well, if you don't relate to it as a fire stone and you relate to it as a moonstone, the goddess will hear you and work through that. This is what I always say with Wicca, we're not a legalistic religion. Don't get so hung up on the rules that you make yourself believe something that you don't believe, because that won't work for you. Magic is about following your soul. What is calling you? If moonstone to you, now moonstone is traditionally a lunar stone, a moon energy. But if that moonstone that you got for some reason is talking sun energy to you, go with it. Because every crystal, every stone has its own consciousness. And people don't realize this, but there is life even within the stones, and it has its own journey and its own expression.
Absolutely.
I think what people need to realize is before the stones or crystals end up in our hand, remember where they came from. They came from Earth. They've been sitting out in the sun. They've been sitting under the moon. They've been charging up and getting ready to, come to us. So if you have a stone that's, pulsating, if you take it outside in the daytime, it's charging. If it doesn't, it pulsates at night, it's charging. Learn to connect to your stones and your crystals. They will tell you what they need.
Yeah, that's very true. Tune into that vibration. Look at the time, Bob. My goodness.
Oh my gosh. Guys, I don't know where the time goes. I swear. And we don't even have Lord Tony here messing with the clock.
He's watching, I'm sure.
It's that full moon energy tonight.
What's that?
It's that full moon energy tonight.
I think it is. And we're going to close out our show so that all of you can take the time tonight to go out and see the energy. I'm so sorry we didn't get a moon ritual out tonight. All of us have been a little under the gun and a little taxed. So, but we did want to spend time here with you. But I would encourage you, go out tonight, wherever you are. And if you say, well, I'm in the air where it's clouded over, I can't see the moon, don't worry about that, because her presence will still be there, even if you don't see her. Or also seek out a wonderful little silver mirror and put that on your altar and let that be your moon presence tonight. I call this my silver moon disc.
Or if you're out walking, you can carry it in your pocket and take it out and look at the moon right there.
Absolutely, yes. So, be creative in your journey. Guys, we're gonna wrap it up tonight. And I just want to tell you thank you for being here, because we all are so excited to help you. And if you get a chance, you want to pop over to some websites we got, all the links are going to be below. you can pop over to my website at robert-hickman.com. If you want to get on my schedule for a private reading, you can call me or shoot me an email. I may be having some phone issues coming up here soon, so there may be some days where I don't have phone service. Don't panic. Just reach out to me through email. We'll let you know as that works out. So I have more about that next week. But definitely reach out to me at the info below. You know, I'd love to get you on my schedule for a private reading. I am getting very full in my schedule, but, you know, we'll find a way to get you on, okay? And, you know, in a private reading with me, it's a full hour, one-on-one. You and I talking. We're going to cover past issues, present, future issues, spirit guides, messages from loved ones. We look at your life themes. We look at your karmic soul connections, past lives, all of that, and I answer all your questions. So I cover a lot in the reading, and I would love the chance to sit down with all of you. You know, so reach out to me. Lady Angela has a wonderful story. You've got to go over there. Lady Angela, why don't you tell us about your story?
Sure. My website is rarewiccaspells.com, and I have all sorts of witchy things there. Ritual supplies. I have books. I have tools. I have jewelry. I have crystals and stones. I have spells. I have spell pages, candles, all sorts of stuff. It's worth a look. It's rarewiccaspells.com. And for being a member of Spirit Channel, you can use coupon code Spirit Channel, all one word, and save 10% on every order. And also, if you guys can't get enough of Bob, like the rest of us, you can go and check out his website to get some of his books. They are awesome. And he offers them in hardback. You know, you can get them as a regular book, or you can download them and even save a little bit of money. But get a hold of some of Bob's books and read them. They're amazing. And it's just like he's sitting there with you here on YouTube, the way he writes. That's one thing about Bob. Bob is real. Bob is always Bob. So whether he's on the cell phone or in the book, it's always the same Bob. He's legitimate. He's a real soul, and you're going to love his books. And you can get them at his website too, at robert-hickman.com. Click on the books tab, and there you go.
Thank you so much, Angela. And you know, we have to say, Lady Carol, she's got some powerful stuff in the works, and you're going to have some stuff for us soon, aren't you, Lady Carol?
Yeah, hopefully I can, you know, get my supplies out quickly. I'm actually starting to come up with ideas right now for some new wands that I'm going to be creating. Hopefully I'll have them out by Christmas. So, you know, if I can get a site up and get them out there, they make great Christmas presents. Lady Angela can testify to that. She actually has some.
Yeah, I have one right here.
Yeah, why don't you show her one? I have a number of Carol's.
I fell in love with her wands. This is my go-to wand, and Carol made this for me, and I love it. This is just one example of some she makes.
Gorgeous.
She puts jewels in it. She hand makes the design. I love this one. It's wrapped with wire, which for me, it pulls the energy from the stone through my hand, down the shaft, and out to whatever I'm working with. So it's beautiful. Her work is beautiful. She calls this one the crown wand. I call it my wand. But she does good work.
Kirsten has some wonderful stuff for us soon. For you guys that are looking for building up your ritual tools, and you can't go wrong with her work.
Yeah, I actually am planning on making customized wands. They're not no wand is ever the same.
Right.
They're two alike because they're handmade.
Yep.
So
it's just like my books. Absolutely.
I'm so with you. Well, Lady Carol, thank you for being here tonight. We really appreciate your wisdom and insight. And would you like to say good night to the Tubies?
Well, good night, everybody. I hope to see you next Sunday.
Yay. And Lady Angela, you going to give a shout out and say good night?
Yep. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Love you all, and can't wait for next week as well.
And guys, I want to also say thank you for being here. I love you. Listen, all the links below. Lord Tony we forgot, he's not here, but he has a wonderful website. That link will also be below, and you can go get some angelic work from him as well. So we're all here to be a resource for you. Reach out to us. Let us help you. We'll help you build your altars. We'll help you with your spiritual life questions. We're going to help you, get what you need to move forward. So reach out to us. We'd love to be here with you. Thanks for being here tonight. It's 9 o'clock. And we're going to go out and celebrate the moon tonight. I hope wherever you are, you have a wonderful ritual. Thank you for being here. Love you all. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
And be back here next week for another witching hour. Good night.